In this video, I'm going to go through one more example of domain range and inverses with a square root function. So here's example 2. All right, so let's just say f of x is equal to 2, 3 minus x square root plus 1. All right, and so my first question is find the domain and range of this function. So find the domain and range of f of x. So remember, like I said before, the first thing that we have to do is factor, and this is not factored. So we would write f of x is equal to 2, and I would factor out -1, and this would be x minus 3. I'm going to put a good old square root around it and plus 1, because -1 times x is -x, and -1 times -3 is positive 3. All right, so now I know exactly what's happening, and like I said, using my fast method in the previous video, I can tell right away what's exactly happening, which is I can see right away that there's a reflection across the y-axis, so it's going to go like that, and then it's moved 3 to the right, and then 1 up, so basically it's going to go like this. And then based on this, I can determine the domain and range. So the domain is x is element of reals, and this is going to be x is less than or equal to 3. And the range is y is element of reals, and y is greater than or equal to 1. Okay? If you didn't get this right away, then do the slow method where you go step by step in order to get this direction. But if you're able to do this quickly, that's obviously beneficial. If not, do it step by step, and you'll still get the same answer. Now, let's do part B. So part B, unlike the last question where I asked you find the domain and range of the inverse, I'm going to go right into find the inverse function. Okay? And what I'm going to do right away, okay, since I know I have to find the inverse function, just for my own benefit, I'm going to find the domain and range of the inverse function. So this is like on the side. This is like on the side. Right? This is for my own benefit. So I'm going to do, so for the inverse function, what's the domain and range? Well, I know it's the range of the function is the domain of the inverse. So since this is the range of the original function, the domain will be x is greater than or equal to 1. And the range will be y is element of reals, and it's going to be y is less than or equal to 3. Okay? So that's just on the side, and now let's go find what the inverse function is. So I'm going to just take the factored form. So, you know, my original one, if you scroll back up, you'll see this. It's 2 square root of negative x minus 3 plus 1, right? And so replace that with y is equal to 2 square root of negative x minus 3 plus 1. And the first step in finding the inverse is you switch x and y. So x equals 2. Here is going to be y minus 3. I'm going to put a square root over it, plus 1. First, I'm going to subtract 1, and then I'm going to divide by 2. So it's going to be x minus 1, and I'm going to put that in brackets. And since I'm going to divide by 2 already, that's just going to be half. So it's going to be, this is going to be equal to, I'm sort of jumping steps here, but I kind of just want to get this done really quickly. So, and you should be able to do that mentally. Subtract 1 and then divide by 2, and that's how you get this expression here. Next, you're going to square both sides. So when you square the half, you get 1/4. When you square this, you get x minus 1 squared. And when you square the right side, you're going to be left with negative y minus 3. Well, next I'm going to move the negative over there. So of course it's going to be negative 1/4 x minus 1 squared, which is equal to y minus 3. The negative is gone. And my last step now is to simply say y is equal to negative 1/4 x minus 1 squared plus 3. Now, if you recall from the last video, this is not our final solution, right? Because we now have to pay attention to the domain of the inverse. And like I said, I did this on the side. Oops, this is scrolling a little too far. But anyways, I did this on the side. The domain of the inverse is x is greater than 1. So my final step is I have to write f inverse, okay, of x is basically the same thing that I see here. So it's negative 1/4 x minus 1 squared plus 3. Now if I left it like this would be incorrect. So what I'm going to do is a comma and say x is greater than 1. In other words, I'm applying my domain restriction. I don't even have to draw it because I already figured it out from before. And now I'm good to go. And that is my answer for the inverse for this function. All right, I'll see you in the next video.